So in the first part of this program, we have an LED array which stores the pin numbers for all of the different LEDs that we're using. We also have a variable called button which stores the pin number for the button. We also have a delay time variable which stores the amount of time that is delayed between button presses and state changes, in this case set to half a second. And we also have a flash time, which is how long the LEDs will flash for, which is again set to half a second. On the setup function, we set all of the LEDs to output, and we set the button as an input device. Then we declare some global variables. The first variable is LED state, which can be any number between 0 and 3 depending on the state of the program. We also have a variable called current LED, which when the LEDs are flashing one after the other, this variable will say which LED should be flashing. We then have a Boolean variable called LEDs on, which is for when the LEDs are flashing at the same time. This will say whether they should be on or off depending on which state of the program they're in. And we then have a change time, which takes the time that has passed since a state change, and if a certain amount of time has passed, it will move on to the other state. So this is used when the LEDs are in flashing either in state 2 or state 3. For functions, we have two functions. We have set LED state, which looks to see if the button is being pressed, and if it is, it increments the LED state. And then if LED state is greater than or equal to 4, we set it back to 0. So this ensures that the LED state is between 0 and 3. We then set all of the global variables back to what they were before, and delay the program for the delay time, which as I say is half a second in this case. The other function we have is write LEDs, which takes in a Boolean variable called mode, and it iterates through the different LEDs, and it writes them as either on or off depending on what the mode is. For the main program, we have, first of all, we set LED state. We call the set LED state function. Then we create a variable called time, which we set to the time that the program has been running for. And then we enter the switch statement for LED state. So when LED state is 0, then we call write LEDs low. So this will turn all of the LEDs off, and this is how the program will start. When LED state is 1, we call write LEDs high, which will turn them all on. When the state is 2, we check if change time is equal to 0, and if it is, then that means that the program has just started, so we would set change time equal to time, which will set it equal to the time that the program has been running for. Then we check if change time is equal to time minus flash time, so this will check if 500 milliseconds have passed. And if that's the case, we change to the current LED to the next LED, so this will make the LEDs flash one after the other. We then call change time equals time again, and say if we get to the end of the LED array, we go back to the start again. And we then call this for loop here, which will go through all of the different LEDs and turn them on and off depending whether they should be on and off or not. In case 3, or in state 3, we set the change time to 0 again, just to start off the whole process. We then check if 500 milliseconds have passed. If they have, then we set change time equal to time, as we did before up here. And then we set the LEDs on variable to the opposite of what it was before. Then we say if the LEDs are on, then we write the LEDs to high, otherwise we write them to low. And what this will do is it'll make them flash on and off simultaneously.